a super secret location deep within the mountains of Colorado, it's time to strap up, strap in, or strap on with your host, Shenanigans in One Shot. It's From the Ashes Radio!
Welcome to From the Ashes, ladies and gentlemen, on About Face Media. How's everybody doing? We are moving gear around and playing with lights and doing all kinds of stuff.
Rob's been screaming at me. Now I can't hear anything
At all?
No.
That's got to be good, right?
Now I can.
How about now?
Dude, that was so weird.
Just a touch of the volume.
The oncoming show was like crazy loud, and I couldn't hear anything. And now I hear you.
Lucky you. Well, hello, Nathan Hucker. So I am working hard to get rid of this halo light. There's no light over our head, ladies and gentlemen. And I have a light in front of us, but it keeps shutting off, and I can't figure out. So now I have one over in the corner here trying to provide ambient light.
Ambient? I call it
mood lighting. What did you just
mood lighting?
What happened?
It grabbed me.
Your electric
I'm
rock.
so happy you aren't as funny as me and got me one that looked like a cock. I was so going to do that to you if it would have been me.
Do you know other radio stations don't have these sweet ass mic socks? All they have is those stupid little foam rubber things. Do you know how jealous other fucking radio shows are?
I don't wear rubbers.
That's other people's problems. Hey, do you know your light is on in the where the V-twin is in here?
Fuck me.
Does it matter?
Do you know how much shit's been going on with that V-twin?
What is going on there?
Fucking dude, there's nothing that I'm not working on right now. Nothing. You walked into a shattered door, glass door, right?
Yeah.
That happened 5 minutes ago. I had one happen 4 days ago. Another shattered door. The V-twin's being a pain in the ass.
When I pulled up to, hey, Eric Reed, what's up, motherfucker? Hey, so and our super secret, the mouse that you gave us is not working today for whatever reason.
Eric Reed gave us that?
Yeah.
And it's broken?
And it's not functioning.
Imagine that. Fucking guy.
Well, apparently you're supposed to charge it. That might not have happened.
Oh, that might have been you?
That is 1,000% me, but that's a whole nother story. But, you know, whatever, man. That's another thing. So,
no.
I told you that I bought a cowboy hat.
Yes.
So
this is it going to be our story from our conversation earlier? Because it's hilarious.
Not particularly.
That was hilarious. That was a very funny conversation. You literally started the conversation by telling me that you had come up with an invention. It was called a fucking hat stretcher.
I thought I was a genius. I'm like, because I was wearing it yesterday. Well, I bought it. All right. So I feel like an idiot wearing a cowboy hat because I don't ride a horse. I don't have cows. I feel like a tool. But my daughter, who rides horses, can move cows. She does that kind of stuff. She's like, Dad, you're good. You can pull off a cowboy hat. You're good. I only bought it so I could wear it fly fishing because it keeps the sun off my neck.
Why the fuck would you wear a cowboy hat fly fishing? Don't you wear a fishing hat for fishing?
I usually wear a boonie hat.
I don't fish.
I know.
But if I fished, I'd probably wear a fishing hat.
So I normally wear a boonie hat. Okay. But I'm getting to that point now where I can't see anymore to tie the knots. So
readers. You got to get readers.
So I have those like flip down glasses that magnify everything,
God,
but they don't attach to a boonie hat. They obviously flop. So a cowboy hat, it's got a stiff brim and it flops down. It's perfect. It works. And this keeps the sun off my neck. I don't like.
So you got a hat too small.
It fit perfectly when I bought it.
Then you invented a hat stretcher. Then you told your teenage daughter about your hat stretching invention. And she goes, "Hey, Dad,
this exists already.
It exists already. Let me grab mine real quick and I'll let you borrow it."
I thought I was being a genius.
That was the greatest conversation ever. That was the conversation today that might have made my day.
I mean, who would have thought such a thing already exists? A hat stretcher. I'm like, hey, this would be great. This makes perfect sense. And she's like, Dad, I've got one in my room. I'll let you borrow it. And so my head is currently stretching as we speak because I didn't know.
This is why every time we have a conversation and Grace is around, or we have a conversation about Grace, or I'm with Grace, I'm like, why am I friends with Robin and not
She does like you better than she likes me. I get it, man. Brandon Bartlett, how's Florida, man? Dana Miller, happy Monday.
Have you met Flo Rida yet?
Yeah, how is Flo Rida?
Yeah.
How are you liking Flo Rida, Brandon Bartlett? Grace has always been smarter than you. Same with Junior, but whatever. Man, Michael Peterson, sup? Michael Peterson, how is the knife making industry, man? It's good to see that you're on here. Who else? We got a lot of great listeners on here. Did you get boots to match? No, Eric Reed, I am not pulling off some cowboy boots. That's just not happening, bro. You don't need cowboy boots to go fishing. Thank God. It made sense in my head. A cowboy hat made sense to me. It made sense in my head. And it works. It does what I need it to. So
all right, so the listeners are going to know what I'm about to do to you.
Hit me.
You know what I'm going to do to you right now.
No, I don't. No.
But forever, you're going to remember this.
There we go.
You might be a tool bag if you put on a cowboy hat and you live in a cul-de-sac.
I do live in a cul-de-sac.
Now, every time you put on that cowboy hat, you're going to question it. I'm not going to tell you my real opinion. Grace said you're good. Not sure.
She set me up for failure before.
I don't know.
Of all the people.
I just want to put doubt in your head so that there's a little evil.
It's killing me.
Guy.
I'm ops training and first sergeant right now. Well, glad to hear that you're getting killed down there in Florida, man. I'm sure you're doing good things for troops, and I mean that in all sincerity. I think the United States Army needs you. So good stuff, Bartlett. Keep it up. Are you getting on the radio again, though, dude? The radio needs you, man. The airwaves need you. So I know you're probably busy if you're being a first sergeant. So, but yeah. So yeah, I feel like a doofus wearing a cowboy hat because I'm not a cowboy. But I mean, you live on a ranch, so cowboy hats make sense for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it checks out.
You have to question it every time you put it on. You're like,
I'm a fucking idiot.
when like somebody drives up in one of those trucks and I know he's countrier than me and he gets out and he starts talking to me. I know he's countrier than me.
I'm going to be guiding some client and they'll be like, oh yeah, we're at some fucking Garth Brooks concert, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I don't listen to country music. I don't know any of that shit.
So
that was the only country music musician I could think of.
Now I'm nerding out and I can't pull up the thingy I need. But did you know George Strait was 25th ID?
I did not. Fuck yeah, George.
I was
Strait.
fucking around with some 25th ID stuff. I used to be the NCOIC of 127 Wolfhounds Historic Room.
How is shit like that not like fucking prime recruiting material?
Dude, it should be.
Yeah. Like, why would you not be all of the state of Oklahoma would be enlisting if
there's
like
some
that
fucking dope, dude. Who's the other one? I'm gonna Google it here real quick because it's gonna. Oh,
well, that brings me to Carl. Did you want to talk about last week, Carl, or you want to talk about what I wanted to talk about this week?
You do you because I had Carl ready.
Tell me about your Carl.
Okay, I want to do a one-off Carl. So maybe we do two Carls.
Okay,
go ahead with your Carl.
So did you see this week that Army Recruiting Command hired Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson?
Yes,
and $11 million paid to him. Did you see how many fucking recruits came from that $11 million to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson?
None.
A big fat fucking zero. Not one. As a matter of fact, it produced negative recruits.
Here's what blows my mind.
Hit me.
Army goes to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I don't know him personally.
Neither do I.
I know some celebrities personally. He's not one of them. But I do know a little bit about him. You go to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and say, hey, bro, you want to help us out with this? Do you think he throws something better together, jumps in on it for maybe a little less? How bad are their negotiating skills at fucking doing shit like this? How bad is this? Terrible.
Absolutely awful. And think about all the fucking military influencers out there in this day and age that you go to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and give him 11 mil and you produce zero recruits. When you could go to all these organizations, you could have come to From the Ashes and I guarantee you we would have given you at least 2 recruits, Man, the Army is fucked then. The Rock is as good as a recruiter as I am, says Eric Reed. Eric Reed, you are literally a better recruiter than Dwayne The Rock Johnson, because I know motherfuckers that you put in the Army. I don't know how they did once they got there, but hey, man, that's on you. But in that same week that they paid $11 million to Dwayne The Rock Johnson, they also announced that they were paying relief money to E4 and below because of the eyebrows, the fucking eyebrows. E4 and below is getting relief money. Yes, exactly right. $20 a month.
For what?
For 3. It's relief money because of the rising costs. $20 a month for E4 and below. This was legislation passed by Congress 6 months ago, and it comes out to $20 a month. It wasn't paid to just The Rock, but the XFL, UFL football league he owns. Exactly. And produced 0 fucking recruits, man. All right, Eric Reed, congratulations. The United States Army just paid you $11 million just to you, Eric Reed. Congratulations. Here's a check for $11 million. Motherfucker, how do you spend it? It's recruiting money. You need to put recruits in the Army. How do you spend it? How do you spend it? What are you doing with it?
Okay, so with a baseline of 0,
there's no.
All I have to do is get 1.
Yeah.
I headhunt a smart kid. I offer him a $11 million bonus. Boom! I got a guy. I just beat the fucking Army.
Yeah, exactly. You just beat Dwayne Johnson.
I just beat
The Rock.
Done.
You are a better recruiter now.
Fuck! I'm like a home run hitter.
I mean, I'm
batting 1,000.
Much you could do with it.
11 mil.
11 mil, and you could produce more recruits.
I'd make some cool fucking commercials with Ice-T, Tom Selleck, George Strait, guys that were in the 25th ID.
Yeah,
George. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you'd get all of the state of Oklahoma in, all of this, every fucking redneck that wears a cowboy hat. If they knew George Strait once had a 25 ID patch on his fucking left arm, they'd fucking, George was good enough for George Strait. Fuck yeah, man, I'm in.
I kind of like the guy. All right,
I know you do.
So let me do my Carl, because it brings up a lot of stuff that's going on, and brotherhood and the way we act and things like that. But
hit it.
We're gonna call it.
Oh God.
Hero Carl.
Oh Jesus. All right.
Let's have Hero Carl of past, present, and future, but this one's gonna be past. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Army Ranger veteran remembers defending his home against alleged gang attack in Tacoma shootout. I sent you this. Did you not read it?
I did read this.
Do you fucking know this story?
I do know this story.
I don't know if I knew this story or if I read it forever.
Older.
It's older.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring this up because as I was reading it, I was like, oh my God. So this Army Ranger in 1989, a group of Army Rangers along with their neighbors bunkered down in a home on South Ash Street in Tacoma and defended themselves from an onslaught of gunfire from alleged gang members. So 1989, homicides, violent crime, all this is skyrocketing.
Mm-hmm.
It moved into this Army Rangers neighborhood, and he had remodeled his house, bought an old house, built it up, working in his community. Similar to a lot of the things that other veterans we talk about are doing all the time. Always having a sense of community, working with things around them. Okay. Long story short, this is an active duty Ranger. Drug dealer started moving in.
What is that, like second?
He had a community get together, and they were talking about how they were going to address these issues as a community, barbecuing. Gang members start like assimilating around the house, start shooting on them, blah, blah, blah. This dude calls the regiment and says, I'm under fire and I need fucking help. And like 13 Rangers showed up and they got in a gunfight and violent crime pummeled.
Can you imagine, dude?
Fuck around, find out next level. Like, I'm like thugged out homie slinging a rock here and there. And all of a sudden I got a fucking 2 squads
of Rangers shows up in your neighborhood.
Up your ass with some, oh,
can you imagine?
Rangers from the 80s, bro. These are dudes that'll
swinging it. Absolutely swinging it. Yeah. Crime plummets in that neighborhood. Now imagine it. Yeah. Dude.
We all swore an oath to protect against foreign and
domestic, baby.
We also in that, I think there's some unspoken things of always protecting those who cannot protect themselves as well as we can ourselves.
Yep.
So we have a duty to fucking train jiu-jitsu every day and make sure we're like a human weapon. Steven Seagal, that shit. All right. We should bring a guest on.
We should. Hang on. Hey, well, because my fucking thing isn't working.
God. Hey.
Come here, you. All right. He's on now. Let's open this up like this. And that's Sam Westfall. There he is. Look at him.
Archery
badass background. Sam, can you hear us?
Absolutely, guys. How you doing?
Real good. I'm glad you can hear us because, man, I can't really make adjustments right now. So what's up, dude?
How you doing tonight? You all are having way too much fun.
Oh, you have no idea. This is
so I want to, before I get too deep, I want to jump back to your question earlier. What would I do with $11 million for recruiting?
Yeah.
I would make Valor Archery Challenge the absolute top shelf recruiting tool for the Army by bringing archery or 3D archery for veterans, military, and their families.
Well, for recruits, you'd have to do it for recruits. You're exactly right. Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
You'd have to put up fucking like Rambo on a giant screen behind him. That's Rambo 2, right?
Do you see this back here?
Yeah. With the exploding arrow tips.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that shit?
Bro, my dog's named Rambo. I'm kind of a Rambo nerd. You don't need to suck me in. I was in the second the R-word came out.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sam Westfall to the show. Sam, how's it going, man? Tell us about, first of all, are you a veteran yourself?
I am. Army veteran, 7 years.
Hell yeah.
Kilo, tank mechanic from 94 to 01.
Nice. Where were you?
Fort Knox and Fort Carson.
Fort Knox. I mean, there's nice things about Kentucky, I guess. No, he's shaking his head. No,
there's not.
So as I, started talking to you about this stuff. So I started shooting the bow after I got out of the Army.
Same.
And a guy named a very nice guy gave me my first bow. I'm a lefty. I shoot lefty. And I wanted to get into it. And he's like, hey man, got a bow for you, got arrows, got everything you need. Here you go. It's all free. Get started. And I taught myself to shoot and did a couple things with it, and life was good. Took it to a shop. They tuned it for me, showed me how to do the whole thing. And once you learn how to start shooting the bow and whatnot, it becomes so incredibly meditative. Like, because once you start looking through that peep, everything else in the world just goes away. It commands all of your focus, and there's no room for anything else once you start looking through that peep, and like your breathing and all that other stuff. Veterans, if you have never shot a bow before, go to your local bow shop. And I don't mean Cabela's. Go to your local bow shop. Tell them you'd like to take a bow for a test drive, and they'll hook you up. Now that that's been said,
every arrow released is an opportunity to let that stress and anxiety and PTSD go with it. Yeah. Eric Reed, I'd love to put your comment up on the screen, but my mouse is dead right now. Eric Reed says, I don't know if you can see the comments, Sam, but Eric Reed says, does that bear move? If so, Rob will never hit it. Fuck you, Eric Reed. I have shot a bear. I have a bearskin rug. Do you? My wife hates it. Eric or Sam, tell us about what Archery in Motion is. So Archery in Motion is just that. It is moving 3D archery targets from the armadillo all the way to a full-size buffalo. 100-yard wireless controller, solar panel, generator run, doesn't matter. I can throw it out there at distance, and we can make some targets move. It really changes the ball game from an archery perspective. It's not just for archery. You can put a steel plate or a cardboard IDPA target on it as well, depending on what you want to shoot. A buffalo? I would use this for evil. I would absolutely use this for evil purposes. I would bring this to downtown Denver, and I would do bad things. So yeah, like, can we bring this to like the 16th Street Mall? We can. I don't know that anybody's going to appreciate it. But that's the point. That's where I'm going with this. Fair enough. Let's have some fun with this thing. So you don't want the one behind me, then. You actually want the monster. So the monster is it's the same setup, right? It's anything from an armadillo all the way to the buffalo. It's a 100-yard wireless controller, but it's a 62-foot oval track. So you get quartering to, quartering away, broadside, frontal, and 12-foot distance changes, all in the same shot scenario. Dude, how did you get into this? So I've been a competitive shooter for 35 years, been a hunter for 35 years. Shot competitively in the Army and after I got out. Switched over to archery about 14 years ago. And about 3 years ago, I got done with a TAC event and said, I think there's a way I can make this better. So I spun up Archery in Motion to make moving targets. In the last 5 weeks, I spun up Valor Archery Challenge because I've taken Archery in Motion across the country to different archery events around the country, showing off what a moving target is capable of. I learned what works, what doesn't. And I've said, I can make all these events better by having moving targets and focusing directly towards military families and veterans and roll with it from there.
I love this. This is awesome, dude. This is super awesome. Competitive. I've done a couple of like the ones down at like the Air Force Academy and whatnot. Not really. I mean, yes, competitive, but I'm not really competitive about it. I'm lucky if I can. It's
competitive.
I mean, yeah, kind of, but I'm not competitive about it, but it is competitive. I'm happy if I can find all my arrows at the end of the day,
Archery is not necessarily about competing against others, about being better than you were with the previous shot.
We can go with that. We can definitely go with that. That's and well, yeah. It's extremely, like you said, therapeutic and relaxing, and you're around people that have the same goal, and there's just nothing bad about it. It's awesome.
So like I was telling Fort Carson Sergeant Major last week, when you go to the gun range, you're muffed up, you can't hear anything, you can't really have that interaction. For those of us that have some severe PTSD, every time the guy next to you pulls that trigger and that 308 or bigger goes off, you flinch and you jump. And it constantly reminds you and reintegrates that PTSD. Versus when you go to the archery range, there's no muffs. You're talking and the shit talking is galore while you're out there. So you're trash talking, you're having fun, you're smiling, you're joking, you're shooting, and we're having a conversation. You're also outdoors, you're going for a hike, and it's a lot more therapeutic than just going to the gun range.
Well, combine that with one of the things that if any veteran has ever done any kind of therapy, one of the skills you learn is grounding and breathing. Mm-hmm. And in archery, just like in shooting, one of the things you learn is focusing your breathing and centering that breath. And when you release that breath, that's when you release that arrow, and you're focusing on the breathing. You combine those things together, and now you have therapy, and you have relaxation techniques, and you have all the things that go with it. It's amazing. It's incredible.
Archery's been my PTSD for the last 15 years.
Yep. It combines a whole lot of really, really cool things. So I'm glad you have found this. So Archery in Motion and Valor Archery are two separate entities. Explain the two separate entities to us.
So Archery in Motion is the moving targets. Like I said, I took those across the country, and while it has some success in it, but it really did scare a lot of people because they're not used to shooting at moving targets. Everybody wants their animals to stop before they take a shot, which is great if you can, but most of the time they don't. So I decided, let's make a move so you can practice on it. And that way you're focusing your shot placement, you're understanding what you and your bow are truly capable of doing. And that way you're not wounding animals. Like I said, going across the country, taking Archery in Motion across the country to all those different 3D archery events, I learned that some focus on the extreme shooters, some focus on the bow hunters, some focus in the family aspect of it, but nobody is focused and centered on the military, veteran, and family community. And so that's where I spun up Valor Archery Challenges, to really focus in that military community space. Bring the VSOs onto the base as vendors. See, exactly. Bring the military supportive retail companies onto base as deep discounts when they're on base for the military and veteran community. Let's make it real, not just a shooting and shopping adventure, but let's bring that level of camaraderie back to what we all know and what we miss when we get out.
Agree completely. I could not agree more. Veterans, if you're listening, service members, if you're listening, family members, if you're listening, shooting the bow and archery, it doesn't have to be about hunting. You don't have to be about hunting. It can just be about shooting the bow. And that is the therapeutic part. So the first Tuesday of every month, me and my friends, we host a 3D archery shoot, and it's for veterans. And we kind of get together at my buddy's ranch in Elizabeth, and we do a shoot. And Perry, I see you there. Perry, bless you as well. And we get together and we do a shoot. And then afterwards, everybody kind of brings something to the table, and we kind of sit around, shoot the breeze, make fun of each other, things like that. And it's just folks just sitting around shooting the breeze and kind of bonding a little bit. Matt Green, I'm so ugly that animals stop in their tracks long enough for me to take aim and probably enough to do my taxes. That's awesome, Matt.
It's not a lie.
The comments our listeners leave, I love them. It doesn't have to be about hunting. You don't have to be a hunter to do this. You can just enjoy shooting the bow and relax and enjoy the other people's company. That's the best part.
And like you were saying, Rob, there's a lot of folks that in that archery space, it's constant camaraderie because it's constant trash talk while you're shooting. It's not like going to the gun range. There is always somebody talking trash while you're shooting after the fact. Oh, you missed the arrow. Oh, you could have hit my arrow. Oh, you could have Robin Hooded me, whatever the case may be. It's always there. And it really does go back to the camaraderie piece.
Yeah. And combine that with, if you've ever been on a 3D archery course, they're out in the woods. You're out there in nature, you're out there in the woods, you're kind of wandering around. It's a laid out course. You're not going to get lost. You're not doing land nav or anything. It's kind of, tell us about Valor Archery.
So before
you guys lay that out.
So it's archery is kind of like golf, but for men. Anyway.
Why isn't that a bumper sticker or a t-shirt?
I say the same thing about long range shooting.
Yeah.
So right now, like I said, Valor Archery is about 5 weeks old. Just spinning it up. So working with Sergeant Major at Fort Carson to get approvals, to go through the legal aspect. Fort Carson will be the inaugural event. Every VSO across the Front Range in Colorado is already interested. They're already hooked in. They want to have a booth. I'm going to give them a booth for free. The retail shops, anything that's veteran supporting, military supporting, they're gonna have a small fee to get a booth, but they've already agreed to deep discounts for while they're there. Going to have rental gear, going to have coaches on site, have at least 3 courses. That way we've got a beginner course for those that have never shot before, 25 yards, traditional bow, between the bow, the arrows, the arm guards, and the hip quivers. That's all your rental gear covered. You're just out there to shoot, have fun. There'll be an intermediate course, a little bit tougher, out to 50 yards, 1 moving target. And then there'll be an advanced course all the way out to 100 with moving targets.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Those VSOs, man, hardest working folks in the business, and they just do not get enough credit for what they do. You're followed up by Allie right after you. And hardest working folks in the business. It's ridiculous. That's one of there's that $11 million that could have gone to good use.
Oh, absolutely.
VSOs.
I mean, just about anything else, obviously.
Yeah, clearly, because football isn't it. Is there any reason why all we do is
I never even saw the damn commercial until like you sent me the look, we wasted money on.
Why can we not center our recruiting around anything?
I love to make fun of the Navy.
You do? First I'm hearing of it.
But can they get some swords and some dragons again? That was better. Right?
I like Sam's idea. Bring back Rambo with the bows and arrows.
Yeah, blowing up
tips.
stuff.
I would
like the Be All You Can Be commercials.
So
cool stuff going on.
For those in Colorado, this coming weekend, August 9th and 10th, Colorado Outdoorsman Days in Florence, Colorado. Okay. We're going to have one of the movers that's behind me with a steel plate target on it out at probably 80 plus yards. Cameron Haynes is going to be there. We're going to try to talk Cameron into making his ideal shot on a moving target that's steel plate.
That's somebody that should have been given $11 million for Army recruiting right there.
Like $2 million, but yeah.
Well, let's split it up. Let's give him $6 million and you $5 million, and we're combine the two together. Yeah,
I get the 4, right?
Yeah. Do you know who Cam Haynes is?
Yes,
I love me some Cam Haynes, man. So yeah, that's a perfect combination right there.
Right,
and give George Strait a mill, and slap a 25 ID patch on him, and we'll call it good. So 9 and 10 or 10, 11, 10, 11 August.
9 and 10.
9 and 10, excuse me. And where is this again?
Florence, Colorado.
And Cam Haynes is going to be there.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Derek Wolf, former NFL
Bronco. Yeah, man. Look at you pulling out the big guns.
I'm also going to be a presenter down there. So
you're already a better recruiter than fucking Dwayne The Rock Johnson, dude. Look at you. Well done. Does the Army Recruiting Command know you exist?
Probably not. They don't
should. They absolutely should. Holy shit. All right. Well, Sam, I want to be as respectful of your time as possible. I know you're a busy man. I'm going to hand you off to my hetero life mate over here. He's going to give you all the instructions for the way out the door. So Sam, my hetero life mate here, he's all yours, bud.
Sam, thanks for being on. At the end of your time, we give you about 2 minutes. If there's something we glossed over, something you want to talk about, you forgot about until the very end, you want to slide in before you get out of here and go back to your life. We give you about 2 minutes, your time to shine. Do not forget to give us your handles, please.
Absolutely. We'll start there so I don't forget. So whether it's so everything is at Archery in Motion or at Valor Archery Challenge across all the different social media channels. Websites are at archeryinmotion.com or at valorarcherychallenge.com. That's what happens when there's two different companies that are too close together. So with that said, reach out if you've got a range that you shoot at on a regular basis and you'd like to get them integrated with a moving target, have them reach out to me. If you are a military, a veteran, a milspouse, family that is looking for something to do, start paying attention to Valor Archery Challenge. While I said Fort Knox will be the inaugural, we're going to take it across the country. So be ready. Here it comes.
Wow. Good stuff. All right. So if folks want to get involved and they're showing up 9 and 10 down at Florence, Colorado this coming weekend. Might get to see Cam Haines.
Yep.
Might get to see Cam Haines. Might get to see Derek Wolf. Man, I hope you get that. I hope that would be awesome.
They're both already confirmed speakers. I'm also going to be a presenter down there. So I'm going to present the gutless method for those that hunt and you've never heard of it or never experienced it. So
I do it. I just don't do it well. It's never gone as well. I've watched 1,000 videos and I've just never done it as well as I wanted it to go.
Come on down and learn from me. I'm happy to teach you.
Yeah. Well, so Saturday I'm making a commercial for Comeback Yoga. So as much as I'd love to, and believe me, I really would love to, but I'm just not going to be able to
I'll
put
be
that
there
together.
All day Friday. Come on down.
All right. I appreciate
you.
I know, right?
We should go. I'll wrangle him in a little bit.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, yeah. All right. Ladies
Guys,
and gentlemen.
thank you very much for your time.
No, thank you. Dude, you're the one doing the good stuff. We just talking to the electric rock over here. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking with Sam Westfall with Archery in Motion and the Valor Archery Challenge. If you have not yet, take your opportunity. Go put some arrows through a bow. You're missing your chance if you have not done this. If you don't know who Cam Haines is, you have to go meet this guy. You have to go meet Sam Westfall as well. Go meet Derek Wolf. Go check this out. This is going to be a very cool thing. And go see what Archery in Motion and these moving targets actually do. And do you have a Sasquatch
I
target
do have
yet?
a baby
Sasquatch?
yes.
What'd you say, Sam?
I have a baby Bigfoot. Yes.
Yeah. What's Sasquatch? What? Bigfoot, Yeti. What's your problem, man? What?
This is fucking great.
What have you never?
So he's about 4 foot tall, fits on the same platform. Go to my YouTube channel. Got plenty of videos of him.
He could be the reason why all these grainy YouTube Yeti videos exist. He's got these things rolling around in the woods in Colorado, and this is why people are doing
Absolutely.
this. And then he just stands out there and screams in the woods, and that's the reason why all these videos exist.
Yeah, that's great.
Sam, I can't thank you enough for being on From the Ashes on About Face Media. We really appreciate your time tonight, man.
Always. Have a good night, guys.
Yeah, we'll be in touch, man. Thanks.
See ya.
Do this, and then come over here. I gotta. This goes like this. Just make this like this. Her like this, and then this goes like
Holy moly, there she is.
Oh, and she's got clothes on too. What's up?
I do have clothes on.
And they are hopefully your own.
They are.
Oh, glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Very glad to hear it. Did you hear Homeboys hooking up the VSOs down there, man? Look at that stuff. That's good stuff.
That's pretty cool.
You good, girl? You good?
Yeah, I just got in from work like 5 minutes ago. I'm exhausted.
You were saying you weren't sure you're going to make it because you had some meeting thing going on.
Yeah. But
Tell me about your meeting. I'm sure it was all promotions and pay raises.
It's just, it's a lot. Yeah, but I'm good.
Right.
I know that One Shot had some questions. So what's up? Because I can't decipher his text messages to save my life.
This is a real thing for the people that are around me all the time. You're not supposed to have text conversations with me.
Yeah.
Nobody warned me. Nobody warned me.
So what happens is, generally speaking, if you text me, I just call you back because I know the rule myself and things get really fucking weird sometimes.
Yeah.
But I was trying to be respectful of Allie's time. This is what happens when I try and do the right thing. So I was like, I'm going to try and ask Allie this question. So here's what happened. Lately, especially like the last week, I had like 3 or 4 just this week ask me, they're like, I'm going through the review process. I'm going through the review process in this. And I got one that I really couldn't answer. And I was like, I'm just copying and pasting to Allie. And then it got confusing. But either way, I've had a lot of questions about some basic ABCs of the review process. Like, don't do this. If you don't like this, look at this. Just some basic general steering. I think for a couple of reasons. One, to let them know they need a VSO. And two, to know maybe if they have a VSO that they might need to be asking other questions and other things going on. That's it.
She's looking at the screen going, what the fuck's his question then?
Awkward. I'm just going to
what's the question?
She's like, look at her, the look on her face. She's like, what's your fucking question, jackass?
Talk a little bit about reviews.
Okay, are you talking about like compensation pension exams or higher level reviews?
Do you mean like your 5 year, like your 5 year?
Like we went through the exam. We're unhappy about something.
Oh, okay.
So after you have already done your compensation and pension exam, when you get the letter in the mail, and they deny you or they give you 0%, which 0% is not a denial, okay? Do not appeal to the Board of Veterans Appeals because you got 0%, because it is not a denial. It is service connected. It's just not enough to be compensated for because your symptoms are not severe enough to get that money, okay? So let's
Can we throw one more in there?
Yeah, what?
Also for like, most of the questions were like, hey, I did 9 out of 10 things were good. And then one of the things they evaluated, something was incorrect or evaluated incorrectly. So can we throw that in the mix?
So, okay. So if you feel that the rater made an error or the compensation and pension exam was not thorough, you can do 2 things: a higher level review or a supplemental claim. Your first option is the higher level review, form 0996, if you feel there was an error. For instance, you get a denial for sinusitis and you have a tore down range, you were exposed to burn pits, particulate matter, you got radium treatments, and you had the diagnosis in service. Your letter comes back saying no diagnosis. That is an error because you have the diagnosis. It is a presumptive of Southwest Asia. This is when you would file a higher level review, form 0996. And you are going to opt in for the informal conference. They have the option, you, veteran, has the option to either have them call you or they're going to review your records. Always opt in for the informal conference because this is your opportunity to explain where the error is. So you also have the option of having the higher level review done in the same office that did your initial claim. So I don't like doing that because they're all friends. I was just going to ask. So I always opt for a different office and a informal conference. You're going to get a phone call from the VA. Hey, this is Allie. I'm your higher level review rater. How can I help you? Where is the mistake? You are going to already have done your homework, so you're not a bumbling idiot when they ask you, where's the mistake? Hi, thank you for calling. In my decision letter, it states that I was denied for sinusitis because, 1, I did not have the diagnosis, but on page 75 of my medical records, I was diagnosed with sinusitis back in 2008 after my tour in Afghanistan. The rater's going to be like, okay, thank you very much. We will let you know. They're going to review your records. Oh shit, this guy's he's not lying, right? He's telling the truth. Page 75, he came back from Afghanistan. He's got diagnosis for sinusitis. He's on medication for it. You're right. This was a rater error. There's your higher level review. If you get denied because you have no diagnosis, there's no complaints in service, this is where you need a supplemental claim, form 0995. So nice. What happened? I was like, as I was.
This is the classiest show on the radio.
I know we are good at what we do, aren't we?
So with a higher level review, you cannot submit any evidence. So your rating is based on its own merit. You cannot submit a 4138 supplemental or statement of support of claim, no nexus letters, nothing. This is just because there was an error made. On the supplemental claim, this is where you have to turn in new and relevant evidence. If you've already turned in your medical records and they say there's no diagnosis, and you know damn well you do not have a diagnosis, and you turn in your records again, the VA is going to come back saying this is not new evidence. So it has to be new. So that new nexus letter, a new diagnosis, which you didn't have before, but now you have. I see this a lot with post-traumatic stress. Well, veteran says, I know I have PTSD. Okay, motherfucker, how do you know? Do you have a diagnosis? No. Okay, the VA is going to deny this. So please get the diagnosis and submit new and relevant evidence. Once you submit all of that, they're going to open up your claim again. They're going to look at, oh, yep, he was diagnosed. Yep, got this, done, boom. And then your claim, hopefully, is approved.
So I got a couple little odd questions to go with it. I don't mean to interrupt you, and I don't mean to throw off your train of thought.
You go first. I have one important one.
Who are on these review boards and who are reviewing these claims? Are these physicians? Because in my head, I'm picturing an Air Force mechanic going through his medical records. And is he throwing this stuff against the wall
with his gynometer?
Yeah, against like gynecometer against his gynecologist, against like 3 VA physicians, and trying to fight a battle against 3 VA physicians, or who is on this review committee board?
So they are VSRs, Veteran Service Raters representatives, but they are like the supervisors of the first level of raters.
Is the person outgunned is what I'm asking.
So it depends. Like, you have to do your research. So raters don't just pick shit out of a hat and be like 30%. They have to follow the Code of Federal Regulation, the 38 CFR. In the 38 CFR is damn near every disease and injury and body part known to man. And in that body part has different levels of symptoms. So depending on how your exam goes, right, you have loss of range of motion and pain for your shoulder. The rater is going to open up the 38 CFR when it comes to shoulders, and he's going to look at what the criteria is and compare that to what your exam shows. So yeah, he's got total loss of range of motion, can't lift his arm up. That's, 50%, whatever. It's not 50. I'm just making that up because I don't know the CFR. I don't have it memorized. So the raters are they're veterans. Most are veterans.
Okay.
But they have been trained through the VA. You have to go through tons of training to be a rater. Because not only you have to know the Code of Federal Regulations, you also have to know the United States Code. That's a lot. And I have in my office, my work office, the 38 CFR in the USC, and it's like this big. Like, it's so thick. That's what she said. So
yes, it is in fact what she said.
It's a lot. So when you file a claim, make sure it's in your medical records. And a lot of times, like, I know, like, I wasn't allowed to go to sick call. I get it. That's why you shouldn't really do a fully developed claim if you don't have anything in your medical records. Opt in for the compensation pension exam. Go to the exam, because if you don't, it's going to count against you. Go to the exam. Explain your symptoms. Explain your pain level. Explain loss of range of motion. If you can avoid taking pain medication that day, please don't take pain medication that day, because we want an accurate representation of your pain level and your loss of range of motion. So if you go in and you know that once your oxy runs out, you can't lift your arm or you can't bend over, but you're on the pain medication and you're doing somersaults, that's not an accurate representation of your pain, your illness. So if you can avoid it, don't take your pain medication. Don't pick up the pen. When they drop the pen in front of you, do not pick it up. When the examiner walks from one side of the room to the other, do not follow with your head, especially if you are claiming neck pain and loss of range of motion with your neck. Because what they are doing is they are testing your range of motion without even putting hands on. Okay. So this weeds out a lot of people like who fake like, oh, my neck hurts. But then, you're looking back and forth, especially if she's hot. You're like, oh, yeah. So be careful. Those are your two options. The third option, which I very, very rarely recommend, is actually going to the Board of Appeals. This takes years. And I mean years. You're assigned an attorney, you're assigned a case number, and it goes to a judge. Please don't be that asshat that goes to the Board of Appeals because you only got 10% for tinnitus. Because I'm telling you right now, you're an asshole because you cannot get more than 10% for ringing in the ears. Okay. Mm-hmm. That is law. That is 38 CFR, 10% max. Don't claim Agent Orange exposure if you were not boots on ground Vietnam, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia. Don't do that because that's stupid because you're waiting years. The judge is going to look at it and be like, the fuck you want me to do? You weren't in any of these countries. You weren't exposed to herbicide. I got nothing for you. What question do you have, One Shot?
You had one.
So I'm 100%.
Congrats.
And I'm upset that my tinnitus is only 5%. Mm-hmm. I wanted to get to 10%. Should I appeal that?
No. Leave it the fuck alone.
Okay, how many? I can't fucking tell you, except for you already know this, how many times I get asked that.
Yeah.
Leave it.
Literally, why the fuck do people ask that? Why would you shut the fuck up if you have your 100% done?
The fuck alone. If you are 100%, whether individual unemployability or permanent and total, you are already being paid at the highest level. You're not going to get any more money. The only time that I recommend you file a claim is if you are already 100%, is if you have an illness that you are likely to die from. Diabetes, ischemic heart disease, any type of cancer. If you're already 100% and you develop like Parkinson's or you develop ischemic heart disease or, pleuritis, you're probably going to die from that. File for compensation for that illness. If you're already 100% and you have a bad knee, leave it the fuck alone. You're not going to get paid anymore. And at 100%, the VA will cover your medical 100%. Leave it the fuck alone because what happens is the VA absolutely has the right to go back into your medical records and call you in for an examination. Like, you know what? We haven't seen you in 5 years. How's that lower back doing? They're going to call you for an examination. Oh, shit. Your back is fine. Boom. We're going to propose a reduction. Don't do that. Be smart.
Ooh. Do you have a minute for me to run a quick scenario past you?
Yes.
Homeboy deploys 0304, gets out of the Army 05, does not go and see the VA, uses his GI Bill. I think I might have actually asked you a little bit about this one prior to. What do you call it? Does his thing, uses his GI Bill, goes and gets a great job. This past year develops cancer and it's one of the presumptives. Does his thing, reaches out, has his first exam tomorrow at 8 a.m. It's a virtual exam. What do you call that? Telehealth exam.
Yep.
But that's not a comp and pen if I remember correctly, right?
It should be.
Okay.
Unless it's with his healthcare provider. If it's VA healthcare, then no.
But has already been diagnosed with cancer. Okay. He has cancer. It's one of the presumptives. He's now reaching out to the VA for
Kyle.
Yeah. And what is the deal with that? What's going to happen with him there? Is the VA going to cover his cancer treatment?
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Okay. Cool. Yep. That's kind of my big concern. Cool. Yeah. Glad to hear it. All right. You've pretty much answered my big question there. Yeah. That's my big thing. Yeah. What else you got for us, Allie? Anything good?
I got nothing.
What'd you start to say? I interrupted you.
If he needs any help, have him reach out.
You have already set him up for success, and he's been listening to the show, and he's been following your advice and doing all the things. He's got his first exam tomorrow at 8 a.m., like I said. And he's not He's not going to pick up the pen. He's not going to turn his head. He's going to do all the things. And yeah, you've already set him up for success.
Okay. I'm going to go puke.
So why?
Bye.
Are you pregnant?
Bye.
Bye.
Are you pregnant? Oh, dude, she might be.
I wonder if she's pregnant.
Huh.
Well, there she goes.
But I mean, who gets morning sickness at 8 o'clock at night?
I don't know.
And yes, listeners, if you're watching, our screen is frozen, but that's okay. We're still working hard for you. But yeah, did you have something for the safety brief? What are you thinking?
Oh, you go first. I was thinking you threw me all off.
I did. Why did I throw you off?
Because literally you called me and I was like, got the Carl, you got the Never Forgotten. You're like, I got the Carl. You got the Never Forgotten. And then like I forgot about fucking everything, bro. Like one little
shitty day.
You throw like something in the path and make me curve a little bit. Things just go downhill. Just like that screen.
Yeah. Well, it still says we're working, so I'm fine with it.
Okay. You go first on the safety brief. I have Never Forgotten ready.
Do you?
I didn't. I knew right away who I wanted to do. I've never done them before.
What are we doing here? Our screen is like just fucking freaking out.
It's just doing things, bro.
It really
it's
is. It's
really
weird.
weird.
It's living its own life.
We're looking at our dashboard screen, and neither one of us are close enough to even touch it. And folks, it is doing things.
Yeah.
Not like weird, glitchy. It's just, oh, we're gonna move to this screen. We're gonna go in the green room, and we're gonna bring on a guest, and we're gonna
get rebroadcast.
Safety brief, go
on WTF Moments, and Ice is gonna be like, what the fuck, man?
I don't know, man. That's some weird shit.
Yeah. So it is hot. It is super hot. Especially here in Colorado, and folks are hitting the water. So water safety, folks. Hey, watch them babies. This past week up on the river, and yeah, watch them kids. Kids get silly around open water.
Silly,
like, super silly. Watch me fill up my waders. No, don't do that. You'll drown. Don't do that. don't do that. You're 90. Okay. You're 94 pounds. Don't fill up your waders, please. In the very fast moving current. So watch them kids. They do silly stuff around open water. Don't do that. So yeah, water safety. Yeah, that place is burned to the ground right now.
It's rough, bro.
It is on fire. All the way on fire.
Folks, if you're under an evacuation for something, leave.
Great show. I have.
Did you see the news this morning? We got people that stayed behind to help with their homes longer with the fires we got going on up north.
Mm-hmm.
And then almost didn't make it out.
Yeah, don't do that.
Because things changed.
Don't do that. Don't do things like that. Yeah, as soon as people.
It's funny because, I feel like depending upon your knowledge and proficiency in certain situations is how much of a toe you dip in.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling the wife, I was like, I would always, you and the kids would probably leave. Even I would stay longer, but when it came to a fire, that ain't I don't dip really.
Yeah.
Tornado, I'm in. I fucking, dude, if you understand tornadoes, you're good, bro.
Well, you're also like, we call it
fire spur.
No, long ago. It's got
my government's going to protect me.
I have never, but I packed them so long ago. It's probably got fucking,
you need to spot check them.
Yeah. That's probably got underwear in them from when Rob was like 6. So yeah.
Things don't fit.
Yeah. That's useless. What do you call it? Yeah, fuck all that. But yeah, fires. I get you, man. I totally get you. No, we're out. Yeah, I should probably repack that shit. Yeah. What do you call it? What's the other thing?
Man, you can go south easily, can't you?
I do. I get distracted pretty damn
Go
quick.
ahead. Go ahead. Go away. Hey. Head. Whatever.
Do you have a never forgotten, or need to dig one up?
Guy. Okay, so it's
right.
funny how I met this guy. I met him at like 30th AG. Or like 247 or something. And then we ended up going to basics like next to each other.
I would have loved to have met Private Rodenbot 30th
The
AG.
fuck, you know me well, right? So this will sum it up. He was in the unit next to me, but our basic rotations were almost the same week. But I think we were days apart, like maybe a week apart, something like that. He was the contraband guy for his unit, and I was for mine. And some weeks I couldn't go, and so he would run for both of us. And me and this fucking guy just hit it off. We kind of kicked rocks around Hawaii a little bit. Good dude, crazy as fuck. Anyway, first rotation. So, anyway,
man.
Here we go.
Here we go. I'm already hating this never forgotten.
Yeah, good dude. But whole soldier died in Iraq. Died Friday from News Reach, California. Was assigned to company site based at Schofield Barracks. Castellano joined the Army February 11th, 2003, and arrived in Hawaii April of that year. No other details were immediately available. Castellano's death brings to 80 the number of service members with notable Hawaii ties to be killed in Iraq at that time.
I hate that.
Yeah.
That sucks, man. And somebody...
Too many of them.
Yeah, close to. That sucks a lot. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to kick this off. Please keep that service members, family, in your thoughts and prayers tonight and Sunday when you hit the church. Keep them in mind. Hey, we're going to make room for Kendra to do PTSD and pageants. I have no idea what's up with our stuff. And yeah, she's going to do good stuff. That's Miss Texas you're talking to right there. And,
I bet you hers runs better than ours.
It can't be worse than our train wreck right now.
This is why we shouldn't have AI people.
Yes. Yeah. What do you call it? Fucking the robots are taking over. Thanks for listening, folks.
See you next week.
Bye.